So, Christopher Nolan is taking a World War II film. Awesome! Dunkirk is directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Mark Rylance, Tom Hardy, Kenneth Branagh, Harry Styles, and this movie is a true story about these 400,000 soldiers basically stranded on the beaches of Dunkirk because of the Germans that are mostly surrounding them, and they have to try and survive and evacuate this beach to get back to their homes. Let's talk about Christopher Nolan first of all. I think if I do a top 5 list, Christopher Nolan is totally going to be my number 1 favorite directors ever because he is a director that has never, ever made a bad movie. Like The Prestige, Memento, The Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, and even Interstellar I thought was one of the most underrated ones he made. I thought it's a really good film with a couple of flaws, but it's still at least my least favorite, but still a really good film. So when I heard he's going to take on this film, I'm excited. Every time Christopher Nolan makes a film, I'm always excited. And Christopher Nolan hasn't made a film since 2014. It's been kind of a while. And Christopher Nolan is a great director. He's good at the cinematography, he's good at the story, and he's really good at the style. His style is really good in all the films he made. So I went to this film, I went to an IMAX screening actually, which that makes me more pumped because he always is good in IMAX stuff. Like The Dark Knight Rises is how he does the IMAX, or The Dark Knight. He does great in all of those. So I went to this movie with my mind a little worried as well because, I don't know, some movies I'm worried that it's going to be bad, but oh my god, Dunkirk is another Christopher Nolan masterpiece. Seriously, Dunkirk is totally, I hope it's totally, my favorite film of 2017. Not because I'm a Christopher Nolan fanboy or anything, I went into this movie expecting a film. And this might be, in my opinion, the most intense war film I have ever seen. Like, everyone was bragging this is going to be PG-13, and yeah, I was bragging for that too. I was like, this film should have been rated R, but oh my gosh, this film, Christopher Nolan does the style and the war scenes really well. That should have been at least rated R, because this is the most intense movie I've seen. Like, there's a lot of scenes in the movie that I was like this, like, no joke, whoa. Whoa, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Like, you feel like that for this whole movie. But this is what surprised me, because Dunkirk is much more different than I thought it's going to be, because if you're going into this film expecting an Oscar-worthy performance, you're going to be disappointed, because this film is not even a character film. Like, there's not even a main character in this movie. There's a lot of different characters den to back. Like, it's just characters. It's not even a main character that we look up to this film, because this film, what Christopher Nolan does really well in this film is the experience, and I think that's what Christopher Nolan's trying to do. He's not trying to make an Oscar-worthy drama film. Like, it's not like a war film like everyone sits on the phone and go like, oh, when I get home I'm gonna love something. No, this is a totally full-on experience. This is a full-on war film with a lot of war scenes that are really intense. But I'm not saying the acting is bad. There are some dialogue in the film, but not that much. But some of the actors did really good in the movie. Like, Tom Hardy did a great job as the pilot, and he seems one of my favorite parts of the movie because they were really intense. Like, they're really fleshed out, and Christopher Nolan did great at that. Like, he's great at making an intense ride. And Tom Hardy, he's Bane, of course, and he's one of the greatest actors out there, and I think he did a really good job in the movie. Even Cillian Murphy or Mark Rylance, and even this main kid in the film that I don't know his name, but I thought he did a fine performance. But the character I was more surprised at, he actually got a bit more screen time than I thought, and I wasn't really a fan of this guy in real life. Like, he's fine, I guess, but in this movie, I'm not surprised. It's actually Harry Styles in the film. He actually did a good job in this film. It's kind of weird to say because I'm not a big One Direction fan, but he actually did a great job in this movie. Like, I was worried about him in the film. I was like, did I really need to put Harry Styles in the film just for girls to see him? But by the way, if you fangirls going into this movie expecting a lot of Harry Styles, don't go because of that. Go because of the experience. Don't go because of Harry Styles. It depends if you want to do that, but that's what I'm trying to say. You go to this film expecting an experience out of it, and that's why I went to this film. I went to this film expecting a Christopher Nolan masterpiece, and he did it in the most effective way, which I actually really did like that. Let's talk about the war scenes in the film. Like I said about Tom Hardy, it was an intense ride. And all the war scenes, it's non-stop. It's like Mad Max Fury Road, but I reckon it's much more bigger because there's a lot of war scenes happening in the film, and it doesn't stop. It's we never get stuff like that before. We always get like a war scene and then a conversation, then a war scene and a conversation. No, we get like full-on war movie that I'm just interested in the whole movie, like start to finish. And what I really loved in this film is Hans Zimmer's score. Like, oh my god, it's one of the best scores out there. He's great at music. He's fantastic. Like every single scene, that makes me more tense because of the score. The score was really well done, and Hans Zimmer is really great with Christopher Nolan. Like he's really good at all the scores he done. I'm serious, guys. This is a flawless movie. Some people don't really like this film as much as I do. I freaking enjoyed this film because this film took a war film, but in the most effective way as possible. This movie's like non-stop action war film. There's not even a single bit where they're just gathering around the fire, just talking. No, this movie's like full on. We don't get any main characters. We just get the experience, and I think Christopher Nolan is great at that. And he's great at still making the movie so intense, so grateful, and in my number one of the best of the year. Like, seriously, this movie has to be my favorite movie of the year. I hope Star Wars The Last Jedi or Justice League can't beat this movie, or War for the Planet Earth, which I'm going to watch this week. But overall, guys, Dunkirk is a great war film. I think it's nearly my favorite Christopher Nolan film with Inception and Dark Knight. I would rank it into my 3 with The Dark Knight and Inception because this movie is a really intense ride and my favorite movie this year. I'm going to give Dunkirk the biggest A+. Wow, 3 A+. Wow, on my videos. That's awesome. So guys, have you seen Dunkirk? What do you think of that movie? Comment below. Let me know what you think. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. And have a nice day.